this video is going to be on converting units using proportions. So the first thing we need to start off by doing, guys, is writing this table in. Okay, we know that 1 foot, and all of this information is actually in your mathematics chart from the STAR test. So let's go ahead and fill this out. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is 2 cups. 1 quart is 2 pints. And 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Now we also know that 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. Okay, why do we need these? These are the basics, guys, that we need when we're converting, because anytime we want to convert units, we're going to be setting up a proportion. And to set up the left-hand side of the proportion, we need to know the rate. So how much of whatever per how much of whatever other unit we're doing. Okay, so let's look at the first problem. It says we're going to be changing to answer this problem. It says they're going to cut 4 feet 10 inches from 8 feet. Well, in order to do that, they want the answer in just feet. Okay, so they're actually asking us to convert here. So to do that, if you notice over here, guys, I have set up a proportion. This proportion, I used the units, so I knew I used this, you guys. 1 foot is 12 inches. And all I did is I set it up as a proportion. You know how we learned how to change rates into a fraction? That's exactly what I did, guys. I changed this rate and I put it into fraction form, 12 inches over 1 foot. And then I went ahead and set up the other side, because the only part I really need to convert is this 10 inches. I already have 4 feet. That part I don't need to convert. So I set it up over here. There's my 10 inches. And I want to know how many feet that is. Well, if I can solve this proportion, I got my answer. So I cross multiply, guys, like we've been doing. So 12 times the number is giving me 10 times 1, which is 1. Okay, so I would have to end up dividing. If I divide by 10 by 12, I'm sorry. If I divide 10 by 12, I get how many feet that is. So that is equal to 0.833 feet. Okay, so we know then that 4 feet 10 inches is actually 4.833. Okay, and don't pay attention to this part, guys. We're not writing it as a fraction of a foot. We're writing it as you can cross that off, and we're going to write it as a decimal. And then we're just going to subtract. We're going to take away 4.833. Remember, when we're doing this, guys, we're going to have to line up our decimals. So I would be doing, this would be the correct setup. And if I take that away, I get an answer of 3.167. Okay, so the remaining piece is about 3.2 feet long. Let's go ahead and look at the next problem. In the next problem, guys, they say how many 2-cup servings are in a 36-ounce sports drink bottle? Well, in order to answer that, I first need to, since I'm dealing with 2 different units, cups and fluid ounces, I need to convert. So if you notice over here, I have set up my proportion. 1 cup, okay, again, where did I get that information from? I go back to my table. 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. So I'm going to set that up as a proportion, 1 cup over 8 ounces. So now all I need to do is fill in the rest. I know what 2 cups is. I know I have 2 cups, but I don't know how many ounces. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. Okay, so 1 times something equals 16 ounces. I mean, it's just 16. So I know that I have just 16. So we just answered this first part. We know that there are 16 ounces in 2 cups. So if I divide, since I have 36 ounces, and we want to know how many 16-ounce servings, if we divide that, we get 2.25. Okay, so we know that there are 2, and they want us to write it as a fraction. Well, I know that this guy's 0.25 is 1/4. So this is 2 1/4 servings in a 36 fluid ounces of a sports drink bottle. So then the correct answer would be B. And let's go ahead and look at the last example. We're going to change 1 3/4 pounds to ounces. So first let's change this amount to a decimal. We know that 3/4 is 0.75. Okay? Then we're going to set up a proportion. We have it. 1 pound is 16 ounces. Again, this information I am getting from the table. I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces, and all I did is I wrote it as a proportion. Okay, so going back to example 3, we set up a proportion 1 pound over 16 ounces, and I have, sorry, this should say 1.75 pounds. Okay, so I know that because I have pounds on top, I need to put pounds on top. So 1.75 pounds, and I don't know how many ounces. So we're going to solve, like we've been doing, cross multiply. Okay, 1 times a number is giving me 1.75 times 16, which is equal to 28. So 1 times the number is 28. I know then that 1.75 pounds is 28 ounces. And that is my final answer.